Men over 60. Doctor explains rub. One forgotten oil in one spot for lasting stamina and control. Gentlemen, let's have a frank conversation. Have you ever felt that quiet frustration that your body just isn't responding the way it used to? That feeling of rushing towards a finish line you're not quite ready to cross? Now, most men I talk to, they chalk this up to just getting older, or maybe stress. They believe it's a mental game they just have to win. But what if I told you that for many men, the root cause isn't in your head at all? What if it's physical, down to the tension in your muscles and the sensitivity of your nerves? In fact, it's not just a theory. Research published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine highlighted this very issue, studying thousands of men over 50. Their findings were clear. They found that poor circulation and nerve hypersensitivity in the pelvic region were significant factors affecting control. It's a physical issue that can be addressed physically. I see this in my practice all the time. I remember a patient of mine, John, a 68-year-old retired mechanic, a wonderful guy. He was just about ready to give up, thinking this was just his new reality. He felt it was hurting his confidence and his connection with his wife, and he really did not want to rely on a pill. My name is Dr. Audrey Wells, and in this video, I am going to show you the exact, simple, natural oil routine that helped John and countless others reclaim that feeling of calm control and confidence. We will cover 4 specific oils, explain the real science behind how they work, and show you exactly how to use them, starting today. If any of this sounds familiar to you, do me a favor and hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe, because you will not want to miss what comes next. All right, now that you understand the crucial connection between circulation, nerve sensitivity, and control, let's dive into our first and perhaps most powerful natural tool. We are starting with what I call the deep tissue worker. Item number 1, castor oil. Now, when I say castor oil, what comes to mind? For many people, it's an old-fashioned remedy, something their grandmother might have kept in the medicine cabinet for skin ailments or other things. And because of that association, most people completely overlook its incredible, scientifically backed circulatory benefits for men's health, and that is a critical mistake. They hear castor oil, and they dismiss it as folklore. But in doing so, they miss out on one of the most effective, safe, and affordable ways to support their vitality. Some men who do try it make another mistake. They just quickly rub it on like any other lotion, give it 30 seconds, and expect a miracle. This approach simply won't work because it doesn't give the oil enough time to perform its unique function. It doesn't allow it to penetrate. And that is the whole point. You see, the true power of castor oil isn't on the surface. It's what happens deep within the tissue. So, why is this thick, unassuming oil so effective? The real magic is in its chemical makeup. Castor oil is over 90% composed of a very special fatty acid. It's called ricinoleic acid, and this compound is unique in the world of natural oils. Unlike lighter oils that mostly stay on the top layer of the skin, ricinoleic acid has a low molecular weight. This allows it to penetrate deeper than you might expect. It works its way through the epidermis and dermis, reaching the underlying tissues. And this is where it does its most important work. Once it reaches those deeper layers, it helps to significantly relax the smooth muscle tissue of the pelvic floor. Many men, especially as they get older, unknowingly hold a great deal of tension in these muscles. It's a constant low-grade clenching that restricts blood flow and can even pinch nerves. Ricinoleic acid helps to release that tension. It soothes the area, which in turn allows the blood vessels to dilate, to open up. This action dramatically improves blood flow into the intricate network of vessels that are essential for performance and control. And this isn't just a theory passed down through generations. This is backed by modern science. Studies published in the International Journal of Toxicology, for example, have specifically investigated the properties of ricinoleic acid when applied to the skin. These studies confirmed its potent anti-inflammatory and circulation-boosting effects. Researchers observed that topical application led to a measurable increase in blood flow and a reduction in inflammatory markers in the treated tissues. What this provides is powerful contemporary evidence that the historical use of this oil is grounded in real, physiological mechanisms. It shows that by applying it externally, you can create a real positive effect internally. It's about creating a healthier environment for your nerves and blood vessels to function as they should. To put this into a simpler perspective, think of the blood vessels in your pelvic region, like a complex system of garden hoses. Now, imagine there are tight knots and kinks throughout that system. The water can't flow through properly, can it? The pressure is low, the flow is weak. Castor oil acts like a specialized deep tissue massage for those hoses. It doesn't just work on the surface, it gets in there and methodically loosens up those tight knots and stubborn kinks. Its job is to release that stored tension, allowing the hoses to relax and open up to their full diameter. The result is a strong, steady, and reliable flow. That's what castor oil does for your internal plumbing. It restores the natural flow that is so crucial for confident performance. So, how can you incorporate this into your routine safely and effectively? It's very simple, but the process is important. First, you'll want to get a high-quality, cold-pressed, hexane-free castor oil. You can find this online or at any health food store, usually for a very reasonable price. Pour about a quarter-sized amount into the palm of your hand. Then, rub your hands together to warm the oil up. This is a key step, as the warmth helps it absorb much more efficiently. Now, you're going to gently massage this warm oil onto the perineum. That's the soft, flat area of skin between the base of the scrotum and the anus. Don't rush this part. The goal here isn't pressure, it's patience. Use slow, consistent, circular motions. Aim to do this for at least 5 minutes, though 10 is even better. Think of it as a dedicated therapeutic session. This duration is what allows the ricinoleic acid to penetrate deeply and begin its work. This brings me back to my patient, John, the 68-year-old mechanic I mentioned earlier. He was skeptical at first, but he was committed. He followed this exact routine every night. And after about a week, he told me something interesting. He described the feeling not as oily or messy, but as a deep warmth. A warmth that seemed to spread from the inside out, bringing with it a surprising sense of calm and groundedness. He said it felt as if his body was finally relaxing a tension he didn't even know he was holding. And he discovered a great synergy on his own. He found that applying the oil right after a warm shower, when his skin was clean and his pores were open, seemed to amplify the effects. That warmth from the shower helps the oil absorb even better. It's a small tweak, a simple piece of synergy, but it made a world of difference for him, and it could for you too. If you are finding this information useful, and if this idea of a deep, calming warmth makes sense to you, just type the word warmth in the comments below. It lets me know we're on the right track. All right, so we've talked about the deep worker, castor oil. Now let's shift our focus from deep penetration to surface-level protection. This brings us to an oil that many of you probably have in your kitchen cabinet right now. Item number 2, coconut oil. Yes, simple, versatile, and wonderfully effective coconut oil. Now, here is the critical mistake I see men make with this one, because it's so common, because we use it for cooking, and as a general skin moisturizer. People assume it's too simple to be truly effective for this specific purpose. They hear coconut oil, and they think that can't possibly be the answer. They underestimate the profound power of its surface-level action. They think that for something to be potent, it must be complicated or exotic. But in medicine, and especially in natural health, that is often not the case. Simplicity is frequently the key. The other mistake is choosing the wrong kind. Men will grab any refined processed coconut oil from the baking aisle, not realizing that most of the beneficial compounds have been stripped away by heat and chemicals. This completely negates the therapeutic properties we're about to discuss. It's not just about using coconut oil, it's about using the right coconut oil in the right way. So, why does this common pantry staple work so well? Its mechanism is fundamentally different from castor oils. Unlike castor oil, which is designed to penetrate deeply, coconut oil works its magic primarily on the surface of the skin. It's composed of medium-chain fatty acids, with one in particular being the star of the show, lauric acid. This fatty acid is remarkable. When you apply virgin coconut oil, it doesn't just absorb and disappear. Instead, it forms a very thin but very durable protective and hydrating layer on the skin, a microlayer, and this layer does two critically important things. First, it is an incredible moisturizer, preventing the microscopic dryness and friction that can often lead to irritation and overstimulation. Second, and most importantly for our topic today, this layer acts as a natural buffer. It gently calms oversensitive nerve endings. The goal is not to numb, not at all. Numbing agents are a blunt instrument. This is far more sophisticated. It simply softens the signals. It reduces the intensity of the stimulation just enough to give your nervous system the space it needs to avoid becoming overwhelmed. It turns down the volume so you can stay in control. And of course, the science on this is incredibly robust. While most research focuses on its use in dermatology, the findings are directly applicable here. Numerous dermatological studies, published in journals like the Journal of Traditional and Complementary Medicine, have thoroughly documented the benefits of the high lauric acid content in virgin coconut oil. These studies have confirmed, time and again, its powerful antimicrobial and skin-soothing properties. This is why it's so incredibly safe and gentle for sensitive areas. One 2018 study in particular highlighted how the application of virgin coconut oil significantly improved skin hydration and reinforced the skin's natural barrier function. A stronger, healthier skin barrier is naturally less prone to the kind of hypersensitivity that can lead to a lack of control. This solid scientific foundation tells us that we are using a tool that is not only effective, but also fundamentally supportive of skin health. To help you visualize this, here's a simple analogy. Imagine you have an extremely sensitive microphone. Every little sound, every breath creates a loud, sharp peak of feedback. It's jarring, it's overwhelming. Now, you could just turn the microphone off, but then you'd have no sound at all. Instead, imagine placing a soft silk cushion over the head of that microphone. The cushion doesn't block the sound completely. It doesn't numb it. It just softens it. It absorbs those sharp, jarring peaks of feedback, allowing the core sound to come through clearly, smoothly, and without the overwhelming static. That is exactly what coconut oil does for your nerves. It is that soft, protective cushion. It allows you to feel and enjoy the sensation, but without the sharp rush that pushes you over the edge too soon. So, how do you use it correctly? It's even simpler than with castor oil. First, you must choose the right kind. You want to look for organic, virgin, or extra virgin, cold-pressed coconut oil. This ensures that the beneficial lauric acid and other compounds are fully intact. You'll only need a very small, dime-sized amount. Coconut oil is very light and spreads easily. A little goes a long way. Simply warm it between your palms until it melts into a liquid, and then gently apply it to any areas that you feel are particularly sensitive. This can be done a few minutes before self-stimulation or intimacy. Because it forms that gentle barrier, it works quite quickly. There's no need for a long, deep massage like with castor oil. The key here is not penetration, but surface coverage. Many of my patients who have tried this report a significant shift in their experience. A client of mine, a retired school teacher named David, in his early 60s, told me his primary issue was always a feeling of being rushed. He said he felt like he was constantly on edge. For him, castor oil was helpful, but coconut oil was the real game changer. He said this simple switch helped him feel more in the moment and less overwhelmed by the physical sensations. He found his synergy was in his mindset. Instead of thinking of it as a fix, he began to think of it as a tool that allowed him to slow down and truly be present. This is a perfect example of how it works wonderfully for men whose main challenge is that feeling of hypersensitivity. It provides a simple, natural way to regain a sense of calm and control. We have now covered an oil for deep tissue work and an oil for surface-level protection. Now, we're going to talk about an oil that supports the very structure and function of your circulatory system from the inside out. Let's talk about a true, heart-healthy classic. Item number 3, olive oil, specifically extra virgin olive oil. This is another staple most of us have at home. We hear about it on the news, we read about it in health magazines. Everyone knows that olive oil is good for your heart, and that's where the thinking usually stops. And this is the mistake. Men fail to make the crucial connection. They don't realize that what is good for your main coronary arteries is also fantastic for the thousands of tiny, delicate microvessels throughout your body, especially in the pelvic region. The health of those tiny vessels is directly linked to performance and stamina. They think of it only as a food, not as something that can be used topically to deliver nutrients directly to a targeted area. They compartmentalize its benefits, thinking it only works if you eat it. But the skin is the body's largest organ. It has a remarkable ability to absorb beneficial compounds. By neglecting its topical use, men miss out on a direct route to nourish the very tissues that need it most. So, why is extra virgin olive oil so profoundly beneficial for circulation? The answer lies in its incredible antioxidant profile. It is packed with powerful compounds, but 2 in particular are vital for this discussion: vitamin E and a unique polyphenol called oleocanthal. These compounds are elite soldiers in the fight against something called oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress is a natural process, but as we age, it can build up and start to damage our cells, particularly the delicate lining of our blood vessels, which is called the endothelium. This damage causes the vessels to become stiff, brittle, and less responsive. They lose their youthful flexibility. When your body signals for more blood flow, these stiff vessels can't expand properly to allow it. This is where olive oil's antioxidants come in. They work to neutralize the free radicals that cause this damage, protecting the blood vessels and helping them to remain flexible, pliable, and highly responsive. And that responsiveness, that elasticity, is absolutely critical for healthy, reliable blood flow and overall performance. And the scientific evidence supporting this is nothing short of overwhelming. You don't have to look much further than the famous PREDOMED study. This was a massive, long-term, large-scale clinical trial published in the prestigious New England Journal of Medicine. It followed thousands of participants for years. The study definitively showed that a Mediterranean diet with extra virgin olive oil as its cornerstone dramatically improves cardiovascular health and reduces the risk of major cardiovascular events by about 30%, a 30% reduction. That is a massive number in the world of medical research. Now, while the study focused on heart health, its findings are a direct indicator of overall circulatory system efficiency. A healthy heart is part of a healthy system of vessels. This landmark study provides powerful, undeniable evidence that the compounds in olive oil are masters at supporting the health and flexibility of our blood vessels, from the largest arteries leaving the heart to the smallest capillaries in the pelvic floor. Let's go back to our garden hose analogy. If castor oil is what unties the knots and coconut oil is what cushions the nozzle, then olive oil is what maintains the quality of the hose material itself. Over the years, under the sun, a regular garden hose gets stiff, cracks, and becomes brittle. It loses its flexibility. You try to bend it, and it resists. Extra virgin olive oil, is like a specialized conditioning treatment for that hose. When you apply it, its antioxidant compounds seep into the material, protecting it from the damage of the sun, or in our case, oxidative stress. It keeps the hose material, your blood vessels, supple, flexible, and pliable. So when the body turns on the faucet and calls for more flow, the hose can expand easily to accommodate it, ensuring a strong, powerful, and unrestricted stream. So how do you use this in your daily routine? This is a fantastic all-around oil for a gentle, nourishing massage. As always, quality matters. You want to choose a high-quality, cold-pressed, extra virgin olive oil. The extra virgin part is crucial, as it means the oil is unrefined and retains the highest concentration of those beneficial antioxidants. Use a similar amount as the other oils, perhaps a bit more than a dime-sized portion. Warm it in your palms. This can be used for a gentle massage on both the perineum and along the shaft. Because the goal here is nourishment and improving the elasticity of the tissue and vessels over time, consistency is more important than duration. I recommend using it consistently, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. This allows those powerful fat-soluble compounds like vitamin E to build up in the skin tissue, providing ongoing protection and support. This is a simple, incredibly affordable, and surprisingly effective option. I had a client, a retired accountant named Robert, who was in his late 50s. He was already focused on improving his diet for his heart health. When I explained the connection between heart health and performance health, a light bulb went on for him. He realized it was all one system. He started using olive oil topically as we discussed, and he discovered a perfect synergy. He continued with his heart-healthy Mediterranean-style diet, rich in olive oil, while also applying it topically. He was nourishing his circulatory system from the inside and the outside. He told me that this two-pronged approach not only improved his energy and performance, but it also gave him a profound sense of control over his own health. It's a simple strategy, but that inside-out approach, it can make a world of difference. So far, we've discussed an oil for deep circulation, a protective oil for hypersensitivity, and a nourishing oil for blood vessel health. For our final selection, we're going to focus on an oil that directly addresses the nervous system. This is what I like to call the calming comforter. Item number 4, almond oil, specifically sweet almond oil. This is a wonderfully light, silky oil that has a completely different feel from the others. Now, the big mistake men make with almond oil stems directly from its biggest advantage. Because it's so light and absorbs so quickly into the skin without leaving a heavy or greasy residue, people assume its effects are fleeting. They think that because they can't feel it sitting on the skin, it must not be doing very much. They miss its true strength. And that strength lies in its nutritional composition and what it delivers into the skin, not what it leaves on top of it. They judge its effectiveness by its texture, rather than by its potent calming ingredients. This leads them to either dismiss it entirely or simply use it as a basic lubricant, missing out on its profound ability to soothe and relax the very nerves that contribute to a lack of control. So what is the science here? Why is almond oil the calming comforter? Its power comes from its high concentration of 2 vital nutrients, vitamin E, which we know is a powerful antioxidant, and most importantly for this topic, magnesium. Magnesium is often referred to by doctors and nutritionists as the relaxation mineral. It is essential for healthy nerve function and muscle relaxation throughout the entire body. Most people think you can only get magnesium from food or oral supplements, but the skin, our largest organ, is remarkably capable of absorbing it. When you massage almond oil into the skin, you are topically delivering magnesium directly to the nerve endings and micro muscles in that specific area. This magnesium helps to regulate the nerve signals. It acts as a natural calming agent for the nervous system, helping to prevent the nerves from becoming overexcited or firing too rapidly. This directly counters that feeling of a jumpy or anxious physical response. The very response that often leads to a premature finish. It helps to bring the system back into balance. And there is a growing body of scientific evidence to support this. While much of the research on almond oil focuses on its benefits for skin health, the research on topical magnesium is particularly compelling here. Studies published in respected journals, like Magnesium Research, have shown that magnesium can be effectively absorbed through the skin. A 2017 study, for example, demonstrated that transdermal application, meaning through the skin, was effective in raising magnesium levels in the body. Researchers have consistently found that this method can help alleviate localized muscle cramps, tension, and nervous irritability. By applying magnesium-rich almond oil directly to the pelvic region, you are essentially targeting this calming mineral right where you need it most. You are applying the science of nerve relaxation in the most direct way possible, providing a powerful tool for managing overstimulation. Let's use one final analogy to make this crystal clear. Imagine your nervous system in that specific area is like a radio station. For men who struggle with overstimulation, it's as if someone has cranked the volume dial all the way up. The sound is loud, distorted, and full of static. It's impossible to enjoy the music. It's just an overwhelming rush of noise. You feel like you have to turn it off immediately. Applying almond oil with its rich magnesium content is like reaching out and slowly, gently turning that volume dial down, not off. Just down. Down from a jarring 10 to a comfortable, clear, and enjoyable level, 3 or 4. The static disappears. The distortion clears up. You can finally lean back and actually enjoy the music. Almond oil is the volume dial that gives you control over the intensity of the broadcast. So, how do you best use almond oil? First, as with the others, seek out a high-quality, cold-pressed sweet almond oil to ensure the nutrient content is at its peak. Because it is so light and absorbs so quickly, it's arguably the most pleasant of the 4 to use. It's perfect for a pre-activity massage because it won't leave behind any heavy, sticky, or greasy residue. Warm a small amount, perhaps the size of a nickel, between your hands. Gently massage it into the skin, paying particular attention to the most sensitive areas. You don't need a long, deep massage. The goal is simply to allow the oil and the magnesium within it to be absorbed by the skin, where it can begin its calming work on the nerve endings. In my experience, the men who respond best to almond oil are those who describe their issue as feeling more anxious or jumpy physically, rather than a problem of circulation. I had a client, a lawyer named Michael in his early 50s, who was the perfect example. He was in great physical shape, but he said his body often felt like a coiled spring. He made the switch to almond oil, and he found the synergy was in the ritual itself. He told me that just the act of taking those few minutes to perform the calm, gentle massage before intimacy helped to put his mind and body in a more relaxed state. The oil's calming properties, combined with the mindful ritual of applying it, created a powerful 1-2 punch against that feeling of anxiety. This was a surprise for many of my clients who thought a heavier oil must be stronger. But for them, the calming comforter was the real key. Now, if you've learned something new today, especially about this connection between magnesium and nerve control, do me a favor and comment the word calm down below. It helps me understand what information is most valuable to you all. So to bring everything together, we've covered 4 powerful natural tools you can use. We talked about castor oil for deep circulation and muscle relaxation, coconut oil to act as a protective cushion for nerve sensitivity, olive oil to support the health and flexibility of your blood vessels, and finally, almond oil to bring a sense of calm to the entire system. But gentlemen, knowledge without action is just entertainment. I want this to be a real turning point for you. So here is your simple, straightforward plan for this week. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. First, just pick one oil, the one that resonated with you the most as you were listening. Don't try to do everything at once. Second, for the next 3 nights before bed, take just 5 minutes to perform the gentle massage we discussed. That's it, just 5 minutes. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking right now. This feels a little strange. or "I'm busy, I don't really have time for this." Remember my patient, John? He felt the same way at first, but then he had a realization. He realized that spending 5 minutes on his own health, on his own confidence, is one of the best and most important investments he could make. This isn't strange. This is self-care. And remember, this journey isn't just about lasting longer. This is about reclaiming your sense of self. It's about restoring your confidence, not just in private moments, but in every aspect of your life. It's about deepening the connection with your partner. It's about feeling whole and in control of your own body again. Please, don't let another week go by feeling that same old frustration. Your future self is counting on the choice you make today. So if you are ready to take that first step, I invite you to join our community of men who are taking control of their health. Hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss our future guides. And more importantly, to make a real commitment to yourself. Go to the comments section right now and write 2 simple words. Day 1. This is your public declaration. It's your commitment to yourself and to this process. Let's start this journey together. Thank you for investing your valuable time with me today. In my very next video, we'll discuss the one type of gentle exercise that can dramatically boost blood flow to the pelvis without hurting your knees. You will not want to miss it. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, reminding you, it is never too late to invest in your vitality.